She died thinking I forgot her birthday. I didn't, but she never knew that. And that kills me more than anything. I still hear her voice sometimes, soft and tired. The last time I saw her in that hospital bed, "You didn't call today," she said, barely above a whisper. I just stood there, frozen, my hands clutching the stupid bouquet of sunflowers I'd brought, her favorite. I couldn't speak. My throat was tight, my chest hollow. I wanted to scream, "I've been here every day. I brought you soup. I sat with you. I held your hand when you couldn't sleep." But I didn't. Because the truth was, I hadn't called her that morning. I hadn't texted. I hadn't said, "Happy birthday, Mom." And in her mind, that meant I forgot. I don't even know how it happened. That morning, I was running late. Work was chaos. My boss was breathing down my neck. My car wouldn't start. And by the time I got to the hospital, I was frazzled and drained. I walked into a room with the flowers, expecting her to smile, to tease me like she always did. "Late again, huh?" But she didn't. She just looked at me, her eyes glassy, like she was already halfway somewhere else. And then she said it. "You forgot." I tried to explain. "No, Mom, I'm here. Look, sunflowers. I brought them every week." But she turned her head toward the window, her voice so quiet it broke my heart. "It's not the same." And I stood there. I didn't fight. I didn't cry. I just let her believe I forgot. She passed 2 days later, just slipped away in her sleep. I wasn't even there. The nurse called me at 3 a.m. I remember sitting in my car outside the hospital, sobbing so hard I couldn't breathe. And the worst part, the thing that plays in my head on repeat, she died thinking I didn't care enough to remember her birthday. When in truth, I had never missed one, not once in 32 years. Even when I was broke, I'd send a card with a silly joke inside. When I was angry with her, I still called. When I was busy, I made time. But that year, the year she was sick, the year I thought I had more time, I didn't make the call. I assumed she knew. I assumed being there was enough. After the funeral, I found her journal. It was tucked in the drawer of her nightstand, under old photos and dried rose petals. I almost didn't open it, but something pulled me, and there on a page near the end, in her shaky handwriting, she wrote, "Today is my birthday." I don't think she remembers. I don't want to ask. Maybe she's just tired, but it hurts. It really hurts. I dropped the journal. I fell to the floor, clutching it to my chest like it could somehow bring her back. That's when the guilt hit me like a truck. I screamed, I cried until I was dry, because she wasn't mad. She was hurt, and I didn't even see it. I started going through old things, her clothes, her recipes, the voicemails she saved when I was a kid. One night, I found a box labeled, "For you." Inside was a necklace, a note, and a birthday card from me, 10 years old. The note said, "Keep this. It's one of my favorites. You always make me feel loved." I couldn't believe it. She kept every card I ever sent, every drawing, every world's best mom mug I bought her with my allowance. And I couldn't even pick up the phone on her last birthday. I didn't leave the house for weeks. I just sat in her room, surrounded by her things, talking to her like she could hear me. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry." I replayed that morning 1,000 times. What if I'd woken up earlier? What if I'd sent a text before I left? What if I'd just said the words? But it was too late. She was gone. And the last thing she felt was disappointment from her daughter. Then, on the first anniversary of her birthday, I did something I never thought I would. I went to the cemetery at sunrise. I brought sunflowers, and I called her phone, Her old number. I don't know why. Maybe I hoped somehow she'd pick up. The line rang and rang, then went to voicemail. Her voice, so warm, so alive, said, "Hi, you've reached Linda. Leave a message." And I broke. "Mom, it's me. I didn't forget. I didn't forget, okay? I love you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I left the phone on the grave, the voicemail still open, my voice playing over and over. I sat there for hours, just listening. Now, every year, without fail, on her birthday, I do the same thing. I call. I leave a message. Sometimes I talk about my day. Sometimes I just cry. But I never miss it. Not again. Not ever. And sometimes I swear I feel her. A breeze on my face, a quiet peace in my chest. Like she finally knows. Like she finally believes me. People say time heals. I don't know if that's true. Some wounds don't close. They just become part of you. But I do know this. Love doesn't end when someone dies. It changes shape. It becomes memory. It becomes guilt. It becomes a promise. And mine is this. I will never let her think I forgot again. Not in this life, not in the next. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. I always did. I always will.